Who is Sigmund Freud? Are you familiar with him? What are his contributions to themselves and to their view of understanding oneself and in the field of psychology? There are a lot of questions, but in today's video, we'll talk about Sigmund Freud and the psychoanalysis theory. Sigmund Freud is the father of psychoanalysis. He proposed a theory of personality and psychotherapy. He was born on May 6, 1856 in Austria. Most of the theories in the psychodynamic perspective were made based on as variants of Freud's psychoanalysis. What is psychoanalysis? Psychoanalysis is a type of therapy that aims to release pent-up or repressed emotions and memories in or to lead the client to catharsis or healing. In other words, the goal of psychoanalysis is to bring what exists at the unconscious or subconscious level up to consciousness. One of the most impactful ideas of Freud was the human mind can be divided into 3 levels of consciousness. 1. Conscious. This is where our current thoughts, feelings, and focus live. 2. Preconscious, sometimes called the subconscious. This is the home of everything we can recall or retrieve from our memory. 3. Unconscious. At the deepest level of our minds resides a repository of the process that drive our behavior, including primitive and instinctual desires. The image that offers a context of this iceberg model wherein much of our mind exists in the realm of the unconscious impulses and drives. In this model, there are 3 personality structures which are the id, ego, and superego. The id. The id operates at an unconscious level and focuses solely on instinctual drives and desires. This is often pictured as the little devil whispering on your shoulder. 2 biological instincts makes up the id according to Freud. 1. Eros or the instinct to survive that drives us to engage in life-sustaining activities. And 2. Thanatos or the death instinct that drives destructive, aggressive, and violent behavior. Think about a newborn child who is crying because he seeks pleasure through food and attention, with no regards to the consequences. He demands immediate gratification regardless of the burden caused to his parents. Next, the second personality structure is the superego. The superego is the portion of the mind in which morality and higher principles reside, encouraging us to act in socially and morally acceptable ways. He is like an angel smiling on your shoulder. He tells you what is right and wrong, what is socially acceptable to do, think, and feel according to the real world rules, moral, and norms. Finally, the third personality structure is the ego, which is basically our conscious self. The ego is who we think we are. It has the ability to make decisions. Let me give you a concrete example. Imagine that you have to study for an exam or you have homework to do. The id is based on the pleasure principle and immediate gratifications. So when you will start studying, you will have thoughts like, this is boring. Why am I doing this? And the id will put pressure on you to do something pleasurable like watching a TV series, going on social media, anything that will give you immediate gratification. Then, the superego is based on the moral principle and act like a judge by giving you thoughts like, doing my homework is the right thing to do. I should do it for my career. And the superego will pressure you by rewarding or punishing you. For instance, you will feel proud like a good student if you study, or ashamed like a terrible student if you quit your task before finishing it. Between the id and the superego, you have the ego, which is based on the reality principle. The ego will find a compromise by analyzing both sides. That's right, this homework is a bit boring and I want to do something more pleasurable, but I don't make it, I might fail my exam or my class. And so the ego will find a decision in a realistic way. This is how the 3 personality structures work according to Sigmund Freud.